The year is 2005, and after ESPN 2K5 dropped, EA Sports decided to pull one of the most pettiest moves you could argue in gaming history by signing the exclusive NFL license so that way they can no longer be a NFL 2K5, which left 2K in a little bit of a frenzy after 2 years of or 3 years of not having anything football related. They decided to whip up something of their own creation, All Pro Football 2K8, in which many like myself would agree that this game is arguably, in terms of gameplay, the greatest of all time. Now, again, they didn't have the license to the NFL. They only had license to only a limited amount of legends, but the major legends were in the game. Jerry Rice, Joe Montana, John Elway, got Deacon Jones, got Reggie White, got Lenny Moore, got Andre Reed, you got Thurman Thomas, James Lofton, Walter Payton, Barry Sanders, Ronnie Lott, Rod Woodson, and the list goes on of the amount of legends that are in this game. But with that being said, let's take a look back at arguably the greatest football game of all time, All Pro Football 2K8, by diving into the main core and the main thing that made this game what it is, the gameplay. Now, unlike Madden, this game truly took gameplay seriously. Not like how Madden is every year by saying it's a simulation game, when in reality the game is still glitchy and more buggier than ever. All Pro Football 2K8 is and was the epitome of what you want in a football game. From blocking animations to throwing, to receiver running routes. Every small detail you see on Sundays, All Pro Football 2K8 mastered. It shows an authentic gameplay, not fully where, some glitch of an animation happens out of nowhere and you get screwed over. No, it's based on where your player is, what type of player you have, and all of that. For example, look at this no-star play that I made. A easy pick six by a no-star who simply just played the receiver and made a play on the ball. That's the simple, authentic gameplay that All Pro has. And the fact that this game was made in the year 2007, and we have a problem in 2024 in terms of EA and gameplay is astonishing, because this game was ahead of its time. But like I said, it didn't really have the NFL license, but people still had fun playing the game because of the gameplay. From, again, depending on what star player you have. Star player also played a big factor, but the rating system we'll get into later on in the video when we do team customization. But look on the screen real quick. Look at the split screen. One game is made in the year 2023, but Madden 24. The other game is All Pro Football 2K8, a game that was made in 2007. Look at the difference with Lamar Jackson in All Pro and Lamar Jackson in Madden. You can tell there is a big, and I mean huge difference. Look at route running with Odell Beckham. Beckham, of course, Madden 24. Beckham, who I created in All Pro Football 2K8. Look at the difference in route running and throwing and receivers and corners and DBs. A lot of small details that people want in today's sports video games, or just overall in Madden. All Pro excelled at that because gameplay was a main priority, and that's what everyone cared about. Everyone cared about the gameplay of the game. No one really, that was the main purpose, and that was the main focus point of the game, gameplay. If you had a gold star linebacker, he'll impact the game. If you had a gold star quarterback with some weapons, bronze, silver star receivers, you'll have yourself a field day. Prime example of the small details in the game is, look at the tackle. Look at number 66. No star, might not add, just a normal blocking animation. Just a normal blocking animation with right footwork that is realistic to what you see in-game in real life. As the same thing for the quarterback. Left-handed quarterback. Chill, calm in the pocket, threw a dot, was calm, cool, and collective, said first down. The emotion that All Pro had, that Madden lacks, is astonishing to me.
Because, for example, look at this beautiful animation, beautiful interception by Ty Law. By the way, he was a Silver Star player. Look at the beauty of this play. And also another thing, abilities do play a factor. Like I said, I'm gonna go into more of the rating system while I'll go into team customization and how important it is. But for gameplay purposes, I'll just sum it up for the gameplay aspect of it. Gold Star being the highest player and arguably the most impactful player in the game. Well, players in the game and for the team. Silver Star players are the second highest. They hold their own. You can have dope Silver Star players. For example, an underrated one is Lenny Moore. He's a dope ass slot receiver and could be a great primary receiver if you use him correctly. And Bronze Star players who are the bottom tier, but there's a lot of good Bronze Star players. And as you saw in that beautiful routine sack, even some no star players, depending on what you pick for when you're customizing your team, could really play a big factor and help you out. Now, if you're missing any of those, let's just say you're gonna be in trouble in terms of gameplay. Because if you don't have a tackle or a reliable tackle, like a silver, a bronze, or a gold, and you go up against a guy like Reggie White or Deacon Jones, you're going to be running for your life. Because if you do not have a decent offensive line and you go up against a stacked if you the vice versa. Excuse me. If you don't have a good offensive line and you go up against a decent defensive line that has any star players, your offensive line is going to sell the bag. And trust me, from experience, one of the teams that I had with Lamar Jackson, you know what was the fun fact? I had no star players on my offensive line. Lamar Jackson was the number one ranked sacked quarterback in the entire league because I didn't have no defensive linemen. He got sacked, I believe, 40 or 50 times. Those are how impactful star players are to your team, and I'll dive more into that in terms of customizing the team. But in terms of gameplay, they really play a factor. Also, weather plays a factor. You know how when you're going outside or when you're driving and it's raining and it's a little bit hard for you to see? That is throwing in this game when it's raining. It's hard for you to throw because it's raining and it's pouring outside, and also receivers are not going to be able to catch passes. Receivers might not be unaware, and also shit like this could happen. Yeah, not even close. And kickers could also slip on kickoffs and returns. But one thing that he also has is presentation.
28-7. Okay, Dan, let's get this halftime show started. What do you have for us?
Well, here's a look at our halftime stats, and as you can see, it paints a pretty clear picture. The Legends are certainly losing because of it. It's hard to win when you play like that. We'll start this one off late in the first quarter. Cunningham went up top on 4th down as they decide to go for it, and it turns out to be the right call. A 20-yard touchdown for the home team. The Adams get the first points of the game and go up by 7. Now early in the second quarter, this time at the 43-yard line. Waters would get up ahead of steam, and then it was clear sailing from here. A 17-yard play that set up a home team touchdown. Midway through the second, the Adams leading by 14. Carter emerged as a real weapon as he pulled one in here. They have opened it up and now lead by 21. The Legends answer right back. Branch came up with a huge play here as they cover a lot of real estate on this one. A 69-yard touchdown for the visitors. The Legends back 21-7. Carter is going to come up with a big play here on the deep ball. Have a look. A 48-yard play that set up a home team touchdown. And that's how we'll round this one out. The Adams are up big at halftime, 28-7.
Nice job, Dan.
The Adams will get the ball first here in the second half, and they are dominating this game. Currently, they are up large, 28-7. Let's get down to the field and the action.
that's one of the other things that's also in the game. I figured I'll just show y'all, the presentation, but this was one of the things that they took from 2K5 and it just enhanced. Speaking about that, this game is basically that. It is 2K5, but enhanced and improved with better physics, better gameplay, and of course a better engine because as much as we all love the PS2, the 360 had a better engine in terms of graphics and more stuff to do than the PS2. So that's why they were able to excel in terms of gameplay. They kept everything they did in terms of presentation with ESPN 2K5. It's just that the thing is they didn't have the ESPN NFL license, and I feel like that's probably the only thing about this game you could really say. There's no NFL license. I bet you guys, if this game had had NFL in it, NFL 2K8, this game would have made money. This probably would have been the best NFL game of all time if the NFL's license was connected to this, and plus the in-depth dynasty or franchise mode, which I will dive into that later in the video. This game would have been even more top tier than it already is because, like I said, the gameplay is the main vocal point of it all. Without the gameplay, this whole ship goes down. And I'm glad that they focused on the one thing that Madden at the time didn't really focus on. They mainly focused on adding stuff to the franchise mode and all of that. They were focused on gameplay, but not as heavy as 2K was in terms of it. Because for them, this was a punch back to the NFL that they made the wrong decision picking EA, and they're gonna regret that. In the year 2024, fans are regretting that they signed the exclusive license. In the year 2024. In the year 2007, people were still, frustrated about it because, that kind of screwed over people who love 2K5. But again, if you guys love ESPN 2K5, you guys are going to absolutely love All Pro. It's just that the only thing is, it doesn't have the NFL license. But who say you can't create your own NFL teams? Who say you can't create your own players? Well, this game had, let's just say, a dope customization system, which I'm gonna dive into right now. Now on to customization. Now the main vocal point in the customization department was create a team. And you could tell because of the amount of legends that are in this game that you could pair up together. See, I was just like, fuck it. I was toying around with it for the video, but as you see, look at the amount of gold star players you could choose from. Look at the names, look at the Hall of Famers. I decided to choose a receiver cornerback, Rod Woodson, Jerry Rice. And also, like I said, in terms of gameplay, create a team is just as important as gameplay because no matter what team, whoever's going to be your star players are going to be what you really going to, or is going to basically be your main vocal point of the team. For example, I picked Rod Woodson, Jerry Rice, pass defense. I got Randall Cunningham, which is a scrambling quarterback to help me out just in case I don't have a good line. I got a defensive end. I got a running back for Silver Stars. For Bronze Stars, I got a receiver, a corner to help out with Rod Woodson, a defensive end, a guard to help out with our offensive line. And the more you scroll through these legends, the more you have to really think about which one will you need to add to your team because without you need for your quarterback. The quarterback is gonna need weapons and a line. Your defense is gonna have to be solid unless your defense is gonna be getting dominated all game. So you have to really think, you have to really strategize when creating your team, and especially for no stars, like I said, pass rush, balance, run support. Those for defensive linemen, you get to pick between three different types of players. If you go, for example, for blocking, if you go for you go for pass block, balance, or run block. The pass block, they'll be good with pass block, but trash at run block. Balance, they're good, they're decent at both, but a little bit inconsistent. Run block, they benefit more from the run than they do from the pass. So whoever you make it's for that team is gonna be important on how you play in terms of gameplay. Now, overall, customizing the team, you can tell they took their time. Look at the amount of colors you could choose from. I wish you can make the stadiums, but in terms of making the uniforms, making the logo, the color scheme has to arguably be the I would say it could top Madden in terms the OG Madden or up there with the OG Madden games in terms of team customization. It's just that the only thing missing is the the creative stadium. But as you see, look how the teams pair up against other teams. For example, against the Cougars, we're obviously going to be more dominant. Now, the other side of the customization is creative player. Now, as you see, I tried to create Michael Vick. As you guys didn't see the series, I created players, NFL players. Now, unfortunately, I cannot change customization. They're the same four faces, but I get that they didn't really do well with player customization because their main focus was team customization rather than player customization. So I kind of get that. And also speaking about, NFL team, if you guys didn't see the last team that I did before I ended the series, was basically a New England Patriots. I had Randy Moss, Tom Brady, Julian Edelman, Kukowski. As you see, look at the logo. You can tell it's a Patriots. You can tell. So then there's two sides to customization that I really like. The created team aspect was beautiful, was flawless. As you see, I'm playing as that team right now. And the player customization, I know that was not the vocal point, but I feel like they could have added a little bit more. Like we was able to, change the hairstyle, different face scans, so it doesn't feel like you're making the same player over and over again. But I'm glad in the way that most of that went towards creating a team. Because even if player customization is bad, creating a whole team with all the legends that are in the game could be very fun as fuck to do and very fun in terms of gameplay because customizing your team connects with gameplay without because basically when you first load into the game it gives you the option to create a team. It makes you basically say, yo, create your team with these legends, dive in the season, and see how you do. And speaking about season mode is is one of, let's say, a little bit amount of modes in this game. But again, this game was in terms of gameplay was so flawless that they really didn't pay attention to a lot of I wouldn't say everything else other than team customization, but it was still in a way, if you really get the meaning of it, flawless. So this is modes, aka season mode, which is the main mode. Of course they got practice and all that, but as you see, for the creative team I just made, you go into season mode. Now, crazy thing is the schedule is wild. The schedule is wild. The fact that I had the Legends the first game is kind of crazy. But the thing about creating your team and doing season mode that impacts the game is who you take off of the teams. Also, for example, they have three divisions that back how it was in the 90s. Three divisions. They have the stats, the leaderboards, and all that. But that's besides the point. So basically, in terms of star players, right? You guys saw in the beginning where I took Rod Woodson and Jerry Rice. Now look at the legends. They don't have Jerry Rice and Ronnie Lott, who are the two people, on Rod Woodson, I mean, who are the two gold star players that the legends have in their team and forcing them to get replacements. Now the thing is about season mode is that, like I said, whoever you take off a certain team's player, it's going to impact their team in a negative way, or it could be a blessing in disguise. For example, when you're taking away a guy like Jerry Rice away from the legends and John Elway doesn't really have that much targets, and they're mainly going to want to focus on the man at running back Barry Sanders. Yes, they're going to put in substitute players, for example, my boy Cliff Branch, who wasn't originally on the team, but since I took Jerry Rice, they added him to the team. If you take a guy like Barry Sanders and make him on your own team, they're going to add another gold star running back, which I have done and which it has happened before. So what they do is for what impactful star player you take off from another team, they decided to add another one to the team you took it from. So for example, if with the Boston series, I replaced the Boston Minutemen. Deacon Jones ended up going to the Philadelphia Americans. So for some key players, they go to different teams, but for some they don't. But for season mode, what it is I know it's one season mode. But if you get the full aspect of it, because here's what I got from my experience. It's basically saying, I know it's only one season, which sucks, but you could create more teams and do different seasons, and every time you play a new season is different from the last, rather than just, all right, we got some rookies, that's the only thing that's different, and we still kind of rebuilding. For this game is basically, if you got done making one team, you can make another team and another team and another team, basically making you really want to use team customization, because every time you do a season with a different team that's located in a different spot, it's a different experience. Take all the 7 teams that I did. The San Diego Demons was different from the Boston Redcoats. The Las Vegas Nightmares was different from the Bronx Spiders. The Atlanta Wasp was different from the Louisville Norsemen. The Green Bay Regals were different from the team I just created when I was making this video. All the teams that you create are different, and they impact the season, because whoever you have and whatever you lack is going to cost you in season mode. If you don't have a line, your quarterback is going to get sacked a lot. If you don't have weapons, it's going to affect your quarterback play. But if you're balanced, it could work. And again, it all depends on how you make your team. But overall, in conclusion, this game was so far ahead of its time, and I feel like when this game was originally released, it didn't get the love that it deserved, like it does nowadays. Nowadays, when I post this video on TikTok or do it on YouTube Shorts, people ask, what game is this? Because people don't really know about All Pro Football 2K8, because it fell under the radar because it didn't have the NFL license. But YouTubers like Soft Drink TV and Ryan Moody constantly bring this game up when talking about current Madden games, is because the gameplay for this was so advanced or so ahead of its time, and the fact that it was from the opposition. This wasn't a thing that EA did. This is a thing that 2K did. The same company that they screwed over by signing the exclusive NFL license absolutely pummeled them in terms of gameplay. And now, every time when people talk about the new Madden and they do reviews or they dissect the new Madden games, they always come back to this particular game and showing the big difference in terms of gameplay. Now, if you guys love football, you guys love gaming, and if you guys want authentic gameplay, I highly recommend you to get this. But overall review on this game, gameplay, I have it at a best out of 5. That was 5 out of 5. Gameplay is 5 out of 5. There's no self-explanatory with that. Gameplay is 5 out of 5. Customization, 3 out of 5. Molds, I'll say a 3 out of 5. But overall, this game, again, the main vocal point was gameplay, and they excelled at that. If you guys are new, subscribe, and if you guys have never heard of this game, and if you guys are new to my channel, subscribe. If you guys are new to what I did with the All Pro Football 2K8 series, go check that out on my channel. I'm probably gonna have one of the playlists down in the link in the bio. Probably my latest one. But if you guys are new, man, subscribe. And again, this game was made in 2007, and in gameplay wise, is still better than Madden. I'm out, y'all. Peace.